This episode of The Young Turks is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook at audiblepodcast.com/TYT.
Today, tax cuts for the rich passed. Oh, that's right, we're not rich. Okay, so 81-19, the earlier vote was to get beyond the filibuster. God bless Bernie Sanders' heart. He tried with the filibuster, and you know when the Republicans do a filibuster, it's a wall. You run into that wall, right? They will hold every one of their guys, 41 guys, absolutely. When the Democrats try to filibuster, now Sanders is an independent, but he caucuses with the Democrats. When they try, swang, wang, wang, Debbie Schlussel. They only muster up 15 for the filibuster, and now ultimately the bill passes just the Senate, not the House yet, 81-19. So that leads us to the drama in the House. And here's where it gets interesting. First of all, Democrats in the House are insisting on two different things. Now, I'm not sure if, in the final version it'll be and or. If it'll be one of these things, you know the Democrats, it could be neither of these things, right? Or if it'll be both of these things. Now, the two requests, I think, are enormously reasonable, but we'll see if it works. So what are they? Well, one is they're saying, look, if you're going to extend the tax cuts for the rich for 2 years, well, in this deal, you've only extended unemployment for 13 months. Why don't we also extend the unemployment benefits for 2 years? That's only the most reasonable request anyone has ever made. Of course, when they run that by the Republican senators, like John Collins, oh, you better not change a word in this. Oh, we're barely hanging in there by a thread. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll walk away from this thing if you try to give the unemployed half the break we gave to the rich. Oh, hell no. Point number two. They say, hey, you know what? The estate tax, instead of it being this gargantuan $5 million exemption, which, by the way, I don't know why we keep calling it $5 million. It's for both the husband and the wife, so it's actually $10 million, okay? The Democrats are saying instead of $5 million apiece, it should be $3.5 million apiece, so $7 million overall. So the first $7 million in the estate does not get taxed a red penny, okay? Nothing, not a dime, okay? And then above that, the Republicans won 35% from Obama. The House Democrats are saying, look, instead of having it go back up to 55%, let's meet in the middle and go to 45%. That at least begins to resemble an actual compromise, right? You go back to the senators in the on the Republican side, oh, you better not touch a word in this thing, I'll tell you, well, walk, I tell you. Now, the reality is, you go to ask Orrin Hatch about the estate tax, and this is an awesome quote. Now, Orrin Hatch, of course, one of the most conservative senators. He's from Utah, Republican. And when they asked him about the estate tax, he said, quote, we had the president, George W. Bush. We couldn't get it done then, and we're getting it done here. Oh, bam! He's saying, look, this estate tax deal for the rich is so good, we couldn't get it under Bush. We got this Obama sucker, president, to give us a deal we couldn't have imagined, even under Bush. We're talking about, oh, no, we won't compromise a word of this. Yeah, of course they say that because they think these sucker Democrats will go for anything, right? If we tell the Democrats in the House, boo, they're like, oh, my God, I have to support the president. The president calls himself a Democrat. I'm a Democrat. Okay, I support him. Right? No, hell no. They'll bend on the estate tax. Come on, man, if you fought on this and said, all right, here's our version. It's 45% instead of 35%. Now, are you going to hold up all the other tax cuts for the rich? You're going to hold up the unemployment. You're going to hold up all these other things that people want in this bill so that your trust fund babies like Paris Hilton can get another 10%. Really? Hey, look, maybe the Republicans will do it. But then they would be incredibly stupid, and that would be to your advantage. You'll get a better deal. But of course, look, I don't know. Maybe the House Democrats will do it. I know Obama won't do it. And I know if the House Democrats stand up to Obama, he will join with the Washington media and the Republicans saying, oh, I can't believe how radical they are and liberals and terrible and partisan, right? But who cares what Obama does? Obama ain't my uncle. And if you're a House Democrat, he shouldn't be your uncle, okay? So just get beyond it, right? So, okay, he wants to deal with the Republicans. I don't. You don't. Why should you vote for him? Look at what the Republicans are saying. We couldn't have gotten this deal under Bush. And look, I said this yesterday on the show. Think about this. If John McCain was president and he said, oh, I'm going to do the same exact deal, massive tax cuts for the rich, whether it's the estate tax or the income tax. Now, can I get 59 senators in the Democratic caucus to vote on my side? Can I get an overwhelming majority in the House right now for the Democrats to vote on my side, no way John McCain could have gotten that. No way. Maybe he would have wanted more, but he couldn't have gotten it done. Instead, you got a Democratic president giving tax cuts for the rich that the Republican presidents couldn't dream of. Look, this is the Bush tax cuts on steroids. Because like Hat said, they couldn't even get the estate tax part. And there's no way McCain could have passed it through the Democrats in the House. So why is a Democratic president getting a free pass on it? He shouldn't. If you're a real Democrat, if you're a real progressive in the House, you should fight Obama just like you would have fought McCain if he was president, and just like you fought Bush back in the day. Now look, they lost a lot of battles to Bush, but even this one that has now sailed through the Senate, 81-19, you know what it was? It passed by one vote under Bush in the Senate. Does it give you a sense of how much the country has shifted to the right? That the tax cuts that were actually smaller barely passed through reconciliation under Bush. And a short 7 to 9 years later, there was two different packages, it gets 81 votes in the Senate. Fight him, man. Fight him, fight him, fight him. Fight him. Kill the bill. Kill the bill. Okay, now, if you want frenemies on that one, it turns out, hey, guess what? Some of the Tea Party people are riding to the rescue. What? Get a load of this. They think that some of the tax cuts in this, what they're calling the Obama compromise bill on these tax cut issue that we're discussing now, they think that it's it really spending, right? So when they talk about, of course, what do they hate? They don't hate the tax cuts for the rich. They love those, right? Because they're suckers. But they say, oh no, the ones on, solar energy and wind energy. Oh, clean energy, we hate that. No. The oil companies paid us to say that we hate, what? I thought we were populist. Anyway, yeah, we hate that, right? And they hate the ethanol subsidy, which I actually agree with them on, right? So they're saying, nope, not good enough. We want more tax cuts for the rich, and we don't want any clean energy tax cuts at all, or subsidies, nothing, right? So they have now rallied to oppose this Obama-McConnell compromise, okay? Here are some of the people against it. Mitt Romney wrote an editorial saying he's against it. Then Mike Pence, who's one of the most conservative guys in the House, said he's voting against it, and he's rallying other Tea Party people to vote against it. Then Sarah Palin came out and said she's against it. And then the most important one, the titular head of the Republican Party, Rush Limbaugh, said he's against it. We got a ball game. Because there's no way that Barack Obama or Washington, D.C. is going to listen to liberals in the House. Inconceivable. But if Rush Limbaugh's against it and Sarah Palin's, ooh, now we got a war. Let's have fun. Hey, listen, some people on the Democratic side will say, oh, no. You can't get into bed with people like Rush Limbaugh and Mike Pence and vote the same way. I don't give a damn how Mike Pence votes. I don't give a damn what Rush Limbaugh thinks. If they are accidentally on the right side, which is our side, which is no tax cuts for the rich because they want more tax cuts, I don't care. Yeah, be stupid. Go ahead, right? We'll vote no. You vote no. Fantastic. Let's kill it. Kill it. Kill it. Kill it. Hey, you know what we would have? We would have real bipartisanship. Progressive representatives, conservative representatives getting together to kill this deal that makes no sense for the American people. Fantastic. Hey, didn't Obama want to get past partisanship? Hey, mission accomplished. Okay, now is it real? Will they actually be able to muster up enough votes? And are the Republicans for real? Like, if it came down to it and the bill needed a couple of Republican votes to pass, would they really stick to their guns, or is this theater? Like, oh, no, we hate Obama. We're against everything he does. And push comes to shove, and those nearly $1 trillion tax cuts, most of which are going to the rich, are on the line. Are the real Republicans really going to vote no? I doubt it, but you never know, man. Shoot, let's rally it, okay? And that's the only hope we have, because there's no way Washington's ever going to listen to a Democrat. But if the Washington conventional wisdom and the establishment say, the Republicans and Rush Limbaugh are against it, okay, then we got a shot. God, how sad are we? God. We have a Democratic president right now, huge majority in the House, huge majority in the Senate. And the only hope we have is that Rush Limbaugh is accidentally on our side. How pathetic. Audible.com is the leading provider of audiobooks.
In fact, they have over 75,000 titles.
And you can listen on your iPod or your MP3 player. You can listen to it anywhere, at any time. It's incredibly convenient.
And they have books in every single genre imaginable. You can get a free audiobook if you go to audiblepodcast.com/TYT.
Totally true.